Hello friends, welcome to Notebook Videos. Today, we will go through an amazing journey of some of the natural resources we enjoy in our everyday lives. These resources are just like gifts of nature. Can you think of a nature's gift yourself? Let me help you. It's sunlight. Think of what would happen without sunlight. There's more. We have water, we have air, and so many other beautiful things. Won't you like to see all these resources stay with us throughout our lives? Sure we would. We would want to have sunlight, water, and air always. Unfortunately, there are a few such nature's gifts that are limited. They may not last all the time and run out. Think of coal, petroleum, and all the other resources that are mined from deep down under the ground. These resources are limited. Freshwater sources are soon drying out as well. We should be aware of all such threats that may come up in our lives. Thinking of oil, think of all the diesel and petrol that's made out of it for use as fuel in cars. There's a lot of petrol and diesel being used every day. Have a look at this busy street. Wow, it's got trucks, buses, cars, and all sorts of vehicles. Is it a common sight for you, my friends? It could be because most of us live in very busy cities in India. Traffic issues are major problems in our lives. We are unable to travel to schools, offices, hospitals, and other important places due to everyday traffic-related tensions. We run the risk of many accidents due to excessive traffic. We also run the risk of running out on our fuel resources. But is that all? No. There's more. We suffer from extreme air and noise pollution because of too much traffic. There's too much filthy polluted air around us that we breathe in. Many of us develop breathing problems too. So what makes these cars and trucks pollute the air? My friends, have you seen some vehicles emitting polluted gas from their backpipes? This happens excessively in vehicles running in busy cities. The constant combustion of fuels used to run the cars, whether due to petrol or diesel, actually cause this kind of pollution. With such pollution happening, therefore, it is likely that cities would entirely run out of pollution-free air. Fresh air would become a luxury. We certainly need to stop this with a possible solution. The government has therefore introduced usage of pollution-free CNG that does not cause pollution. Have you seen the green and yellow auto rickshaws using CNG nowadays? These are smart choices made by the government to curb pollution. What else? What other solution can you think of that can reduce air pollution? Well, yes, there's another solution that has been quite useful. It's use of electricity to run vehicles. Some cars are electricity driven. They are pollution free. But there's one problem. They are a bit more expensive than regular cars. So, it's difficult for people to purchase them. Unfortunately, we are still not used to electric cars in a wide scale. Some of us may be using electricity-driven bicycles at home. These need to get charged for use. Public transport also saves petrol. Metros and buses help many people to commute. This saves a lot of fuel consumption on a daily basis. However, there are still many rich countries in the world where people mostly use private cars and public transport which is not sufficiently available. Even when they are available, people prefer to drive their own cars. This worsens the resource problem. So, use of electricity, CNG saves petrol, and so does use of public transport in cities. Transports like cycles and carts do not require fuel. Too much use of fuel actually raises its price. Well, prices rise simply because there has been rising demand of something that will finish up soon. Fuel is used everywhere. to run cars, machines, making plastics and paints. So, prices rise whenever there is a huge demand. This happens in case of everything you buy. For example, if there is a good movie and if everyone loves it, we still all pay a high price to buy the tickets and watch it. See how the resource barrel of crude oil has been falling? Crude oil is the source of all petrol and diesel used in cars, and how this resource has been clearly falling every year. What if this continues? We won't have enough petrol and diesel for use anymore. Prices would also become sky high. The only way we would be able to save ourselves would be to shift to old modes of transport like bullock carts. Do you want this, my friends? Think about it. Let's look at places from where we dig out crude oil in India. There are many cities and states that have refineries of oil and are spread out all over India. India and all other countries are always on the lookout for more refineries and stock of crude oil so that reserves can be increased and demand is fulfilled. Just like crude oil, there are other natural resources that are mined. Some examples are coal and precious stones. So there are coal mines and diamond mines in India as well. Try to remember this as it may come as a question in your exam. This chart is in your book. It shows the use of 3 different kinds of fuel: wood, LPG and kerosene, coal and electricity being used every 100 houses. Number of houses have been given on the y-axis and years on the x-axis. The use of fuels is compared over 2 different years, 1976 and 1996. In the beginning, we see a lot of wood being used as fuel and very little of electricity. Clearly, that changed over 20 years. By 1996, use of wood declined from 84 to 75. More and more of LPG was being used instead. Use of electricity also increased. Based on this chart, can you tell me which fuel was used the least in 1976? It was electricity. Only 1 out of 100 houses has been shown to be using electricity as power. LPG and kerosene was used in about 10 houses then, and this number increased to 18 in 20 years. So, percentage change in use of kerosene can be calculated by new number 18 minus old number 10 divided by 10, which is 0.8 times into 100, 80%. With this, we come to the end of this session. Hope you have enjoyed this session and learned enough about fuels that help us run every aspect of our lives. These are our nature's gifts. Thank you for watching this session and goodbye.